Have you ever felt like wealth is a secret language? Like some people were born already fluent in it, while the rest of us are still trying to decode the alphabet? We're told to work hard, to save money, to invest. But what if that's only the surface? Because beneath the shiny world of salaries and savings lies something much deeper, a hidden pyramid of wealth that society never teaches you to climb. A pyramid built not of gold or stone, but of psychology, perspective, and power. And every level of that pyramid represents a new way of seeing money, using it, and eventually becoming free from it. Today, we're going to uncover those hidden levels, the 10 invisible stages that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Some are practical, some are philosophical, but all of them are real. Take a deep breath, because once you see this pyramid for what it truly is, you'll never see the idea of being rich the same way again. We live in a time where wealth looks louder than ever. You open social media and it screams luxury cars, mansions, and private jets. But here's the irony. Never in history have more people looked rich and yet felt so financially trapped. Because the modern system doesn't reward true wealth, it rewards the illusion of it. We've built an economy where people are trained not to build wealth, but to spend it faster than they earn it, to keep the machine turning, to feed the cycle that keeps the few at the top of the pyramid. Real wealth, the kind that changes your life, your family, and your peace, doesn't come from luck, inheritance, or a viral crypto coin. It comes from awareness, from knowing where you truly stand on the pyramid and what it takes to rise above it. These are the 10 hidden levels of wealth society never reveals, and we begin at the very bottom.
Level 1. Survival wealth. At the base of the pyramid lies survival wealth. This is where most people start. The only goal here is to make it through the month. Bills, rent, food. Survival wealth is about staying alive, not living well. Every decision here is short-term because it has to be. You don't think about investing, you think about next week's rent. You don't dream about freedom, you dream about breathing space. And that's not failure. That's the trap society designs. Because think about it. If everyone is stuck at survival, constantly tired and anxious, who has the time or energy to challenge the system? In this level, time is your enemy. You exchange hours for money, but the money disappears faster than the hours do. Every dollar has a destination before it even touches your hand. You're not lazy. You're not stupid. You're simply caught in a structure built to keep you here. But even within this level, there's a hidden rule few realize. Wealth doesn't begin when you earn more. It begins when you understand more. Because the moment you see the pattern, the moment you realize you're being trained to survive, not thrive, that's when the climb begins. To rise from survival, you need knowledge, systems, and patience. You learn to stretch time, not just money. You track where it goes. You build small buffers, tiny savings, not because it makes you rich, but because it makes you ready. Ready for the next level.
Level 2. Stability wealth. If level 1 is about surviving, level 2 is about stabilizing. You've started to control your spending. You've learned to say no to impulse and yes to planning. The chaos is quieting, not gone, but manageable. This is where you begin to build systems, budgets, emergency funds, consistency. It's not glamorous, but it's powerful. For the first time, you feel a sense of control, Maybe you can finally pay all your bills and have a little left over. That small leftover isn't just money, it's momentum. It's proof that your effort is working. But there's a danger here too, because once you reach stability, comfort starts whispering. It says, "You're doing fine." And if you're not careful, that whisper becomes a lullaby that keeps you asleep. This is the invisible wall between the lower class and the middle class. It's not built from poverty, it's built from contentment. You're no longer in pain, so you stop pushing. But wealth doesn't grow in stillness, it grows in motion. The people who rise above this level learn to reinvest their stability into progress. They start treating every extra dollar as a seed, not a reward. Seeds that, when planted wisely, grow into time, freedom, and opportunity. Stability is beautiful, but it's not the destination. It's the platform. Because above stability lies comfort.
Level 3. Comfort wealth. Comfort feels like success. You're no longer worried about bills. You can afford the things you want within reason. You eat well. You travel occasionally. You feel secure. To the outside world, you've made it. But inside, something starts to feel off, because comfort quietly kills ambition. Most people who reach this stage stay here for life. They don't struggle, but they don't grow either. They plateau in a lifestyle that looks good enough to keep them complacent. Comfort wealth is tricky because it feels safe, but it's built on fragile ground. One medical bill, one job loss, one economic downturn, and it can crumble. True comfort isn't about income, it's about resilience. If your lifestyle depends on your constant effort, it's not freedom, it's dependency dressed as success. The secret here is to turn comfort into leverage. Instead of upgrading your car, upgrade your knowledge. Instead of chasing lifestyle, chase assets. Use the safety of comfort to take calculated risks. Start a business, learn investing, build multiple income streams. Comfort is the turning point where people either build empires or lose decades standing still. To move upward, you must trade comfort for growth. Level 4. Security wealth. Security wealth is when your assets begin to work for you. You no longer rely entirely on your job. You've built systems, maybe investments, maybe a business that generate income even while you rest. This is where the concept of leverage enters the picture. You begin to understand that the rich don't trade time for money, they trade money for time. You realize that the goal was never to have more hours in the day, it was to make every hour more valuable. Security isn't about being rich, it's about being unshakable. If you lost your main income tomorrow, your life wouldn't collapse. Your assets, savings, and mindset form a safety net strong enough to hold you. This is the level where fear starts to fade. You're no longer anxious about tomorrow. You think in years, not weeks. You invest, not react. But even here, another illusion hides, because when people feel secure, they often confuse comfort with completion. They stop reaching. They protect rather than create. The real wealthy don't see security as the end. They see it as the foundation for freedom. And that's the next level. Level 5. Freedom wealth. Freedom wealth isn't about how much you own. It's about how much control you have. At this stage, money stops being a cage and becomes a tool. You choose what to work on, when to work, and who to work with. You can say no, not out of fear, but out of clarity. You realize that wealth was never about numbers. It was about options, the freedom to design your life without permission. At this level, you begin to feel time differently. You're not rushing through days. You're designing them. You wake up not to survive or secure, but to create. But freedom is fragile. It must be protected by discipline, because without purpose, freedom quickly turns into drift. People who reach this stage often lose themselves in indulgence, thinking freedom means doing nothing. But true freedom means doing what matters. You begin to measure success not by profit, but by peace, not by status, but by significance. And when your influence starts to ripple outward, when your decisions start shaping others' futures, you're stepping into the next level. Level 6. Influence wealth. When you reach influence wealth, money becomes less about what it can buy and more about what it can build. At this level, your name carries weight. Your ideas move people. Your presence changes rooms. You no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. You've built something that commands trust and attention. That might be a business, a reputation, or simply your voice. Influence is the currency of the modern world, and those who understand it control it. Because here's the truth. Money follows attention. Always has, always will. And influence is attention refined into credibility. You've stepped beyond personal wealth and entered social wealth, the ability to impact others' decisions, emotions, and directions. But influence is a double-edged sword. If you chase fame, you lose integrity. If you nurture trust, you build legacy. The key is alignment, using your influence not just for gain, but for guidance. You begin to see that your success isn't just yours. It's a light others can follow. And when you start using that light to lift people higher, something extraordinary happens. You rise too. Because influence, when used right, compounds faster than any investment ever could. Level 7. Impact wealth. Impact wealth is when your success starts changing lives beyond your own. You're no longer chasing numbers, you're shaping narratives. You fund ideas, you build systems, you solve problems that others only complain about. At this stage, you understand that wealth without purpose feels empty, because once you've tasted freedom, the next hunger isn't for more, it's for meaning. You start asking deeper questions. What do I stand for? What legacy am I building? Who benefits from my existence beyond me? Impact wealth is the bridge between personal gain and collective good. It's when your wealth becomes a force, not just in your life, but in your world. You realize money is simply energy, neutral by nature. It becomes powerful only when directed with intention. Some people use it to escape the world. Others use it to reshape it. And those who reach this level start to feel something few ever do, the joy of significance. Because while success feels good, significance feels eternal. At this point, you're not just rich in assets, you're rich in contribution. And from here, the climb becomes spiritual. Level 8. Wisdom wealth. Wisdom wealth is when you no longer see money as the goal, you see it as a mirror. You begin to understand that every level of wealth you've experienced was never about dollars, but about growth. Money tested your patience. It revealed your fears. It magnified your character. You realized that money was never evil or holy. It was a teacher. And the lessons it gave were written in your habits, your sacrifices, and your priorities. Wisdom wealth is quiet. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to show anything. You've lived enough cycles to know that real wealth can't be displayed, it's felt. In peace, in clarity, in purpose. You stop asking, how much can I make? And start asking, how much can I give? How much can I understand? How much can I evolve?
This is the level where true detachment begins. Not because you don't care about money, but because you finally understand it's never what defined you. You hold wealth the way a master holds fire, carefully, respectfully, knowing its power and its danger. And with that wisdom, you move towards something even greater.
Level 9. Legacy wealth. Legacy wealth is not measured in money, but in memory. It's what remains when you're gone. The systems, values, and opportunities you leave behind. The ripple your existence creates through generations you'll never meet. You stop chasing returns and start planting forests. You build institutions, movements, or families rooted in purpose, not greed. At this level, you understand that time is the ultimate currency, and legacy is how you spend it wisely. People at this stage don't ask, "How do I stay remembered?" They ask, "How do I ensure others can rise higher than I did?" Because legacy isn't about statues or stories. It's about seeds, the kind that keep growing long after you're gone. Legacy wealth means your name becomes an ecosystem of opportunity, a symbol not of excess, but of empowerment. It's the quiet knowing that your journey mattered, that your wealth became a bridge, not a barrier. And when you've built that bridge, there's only one level left to climb. Level 10. Enlightened wealth. Enlightened wealth is the summit. It's when you've mastered the art of having everything and needing nothing. You've transcended the material game entirely. You use money without attachment, power without ego, and influence without manipulation. You live in alignment, where your purpose, passion, and peace all speak the same language. At this level, wealth is not what you own, it's what flows through you. You become a channel, not a collector. Every decision, every investment, every word carries intention. You're no longer building an empire outside of you, you're cultivating one within. Enlightened wealth is when gratitude becomes your baseline. You don't compare, compete, or crave. You simply create, because creation itself is the purest form of wealth. Few ever reach this stage, not because it's hidden, but because it requires surrender. To reach the top, you must let go of everything that once pulled you upward: greed, fear, pride, attachment. And what remains is clarity, the rarest currency of all. You realize that the richest person isn't the one with the most power, but the one who needs the least permission to be at peace. And that is the final level.
The closing truth. Most people spend their lives trying to climb someone else's pyramid. They chase status instead of substance. They collect things instead of experiences. They build cages and call them castles. But if you've made it this far, you already know. Real wealth isn't loud. It's quiet. It's calm. It's free. Because the purpose of money isn't to own your life, it's to amplify it. To giving the time, the space, and the choice to become who you truly are. So, wherever you are on this pyramid, whether you're surviving, stabilizing, or securing, remember this: every step upward begins with awareness. The moment you see through the illusion, you start to rise. And that's what the world's richest minds understand. Wealth isn't a number. It's a mindset, a mirror, a journey of becoming more aware, more capable, and more complete. So keep climbing, keep learning, keep rising. Because the levels aren't out there, they're in you.
And once you unlock them, you'll never chase money again. You'll attract it, naturally, as a reflection of the person you've become. This is ExplainWise 91, where we turn complex truths about money, power, and the world into simple, clear wisdom. If this opened your eyes, subscribe, join the movement, and let's keep uncovering the secrets they never teach you. Because understanding this world is the first step to changing it.